special show today for you and a couple of really special guests. Give us some secrets then. You know, I was making sure.
Because he's so present in the way he speaks.
Oh, this is going to be hard.
I'll tell you, he's got it all figured out, Stefan. He's already planned this.
We're just so excited bringing out new music.
It's going to be heavier. It's going to be a little bit darker.
Hi guys, I've got a special show today for you and a couple of really special guests. It's my honour to have with me today Stefan Nykvist, I hope I'm saying his name correctly by the way, powerhouse vocalist, and Jesper Lindbergh, drummer, songwriter and brainchild behind the Swedish band Sarayasign. Welcome to the channel guys, how you doing?
Thanks for having us, man.
Oh man. I've been waiting to have you on. I know we've been talking about doing an interview, and we've got some new stuff coming up from you guys. I think it's really important now we talk. So how are you doing? You good?
Yeah,
I'm doing really good.
Yeah.
What about you, Stefan?
Yeah, I'm fine here. Just fine.
We should say there's a lot of stuff happening in the Sarayasign camp at the moment, so it's been a busy year for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to get on to what's really going on, because I'm probably more excited than most people what's going on in the Sarayasign camp, but that's what we're here to talk about, mainly what's going on. But we're here to talk about the past year and what's been going on, because I mean it's been an amazing year for you guys, I know. So I was thinking of actually introducing the band's name with like a genre, you know, like, because there's so many different rock and metal genres out there, and it's just like, God, there's genres within genres, you know what I'm talking about, so many. But it's quite hard to categorize Sarayasign's music for me. We're just talking music here. We'll get onto lyrics and concepts later, but how would you guys actually describe your music and almost, you know, your influences, what make your music or the Sarayasign music?
I think it's melodic hard rock, I would call it. And someone said, and I think I agree, it's like Queensryche meeting Talisman and Evergrey, perhaps a little bit, to be straightforward.
I can see all those.
What do you think, Jesper?
I just remember something echoing in my head when we started the Throne album. One phrase that we tossed around internally was cinematic melodic hard rock.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm probably thinking we should narrow it down to.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I mean, I know we don't like to pinpoint bands into genres, I know, but sometimes it's a good thing, isn't it? Because you know, the scope of rock and metal these days, you could be searching forever for the music you want to find. But you know, if you know you're looking for that particular genre, I mean, what I hear when I hear you said some great things there, Stefan. I totally agree with a lot of those. It's definitely cinematic as well. Yeah. I hear a lot of,
and that's all in the it's different for everyone. Someone thinks it sounds like that, someone thinks something else. So,
yeah, that's cool. It's all subjective, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, I love the sound of your music, and we're obviously that album you brought out. We're going to get on to Throne of Gold in a minute, but I want to talk about it right now. Actually, Throne of Gold. So I've got here. Look at this. Look at that. I mean, also, we're not just talking, you know, the music of Sarayasign here, which is in a big scale, isn't it? The sound of it, but I mean, even this, it's beautiful artwork for a start. Actually, gorgeous artwork. You know what I mean? You ain't just getting the great sound, you're getting a booklet. I mean, you've done a great job on that as well, guys. I must admit, it's beautiful stuff. Thank you. All the gear as well. I mean, look how good I look. I mean, come on. So, I mean, the merch is outstanding. Do you know what I mean? Thanks for the brilliant supplies I got through the post the other day. But the merch is so good quality. Sometimes you get bands that, you know, you guys are a new band, and the stuff you're bringing, you don't muck around, lads. You know what I mean? You make it high quality music and everything that goes with it, and much appreciated. Really is. So I want to talk about this. a little while.
Yeah.
So easily one of the best albums released, and it's a debut album as well, man. It just right out the gates, a brilliant album from last year. I think what makes this album, in my opinion, stand out as well from other releases, and we spoke before we went on air about how much music as well there is now. There's tons of music, but I think what makes this stand out for me is the album's concept, and I know that's a massive part of this band. So this is aimed towards you, really, Jesper. So I want to hear about the concept, because I have read through it again today. I read the booklet open, reading about it. So tell me a little bit about the concept and how you created it and how it came about.
I think for me it started when I was growing up, when the record by Queensryche got released, Operation Mindcrime.
Oh yeah.
So ever since I heard that album, it's always been like a chase or whatever for me to have something similar. And I'm a huge Tolkien fan, the Lord of the Rings guy, but I didn't want it to be something with Dungeons and Dragons and trolls and like a fantasy. It's a fantasy story for sure, but I wanted something to be more about paranormal entities. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
So I got this idea that this landmass was created. You read about the entry, yeah. So it's all basically about a world that's been abandoned by its creator because something got very wrong in the creation of life. So normal people and normal beings of the world got spawned into the world, but also paranormal dark entities that wanted bad things. So it's basically about a dark entity that's moving around, causing a blackout of the sun, and ultimately it's going to take over the world. So it's a little bit or it's very deep, let's say, because we have this emblem, this rune circle, right?
Yeah, it's on the back of my t-shirt.
Yeah, this is the second one where the octagonal star has turned one step to the right, so it's the next 8 runes. But anyway, what happened was when the architects abandoned their creation, they left a book with all the secrets they could find about how to conquer the dark, or let's say how to vanquish it. So it's all based around the number 32. 32 pages were torn out of this book and scattered around the world of Soraya, right? Hidden for future generations to come, in case the dark, how do I say this? Alongside the darkness that is spreading, people are now trying to locate these 32 pages to make the book whole, right? And the idea is when every 32 pages has been found, the runes in this circle lights up, right, and creates this huge blast wave that's gonna destroy the darkness or whatever. So it's very deep and detailed, and it's I've been writing for 28 years for this story. So and I actually finished chapter, what is it? Chapter 8 last night. So now we have a story that's gonna. But the interesting thing, okay, so it's all about finding the pages of the book, and just to clarify, these runes I'm talking about, when back in the day when they hid all these pages, they placed a rune right next to the vicinity where the book was buried, or the page was buried. So wherever someone is moving in the vicinity where a rune is, the rune lights up, right? like a compass signal or a pinpoint that's this is where a page is hidden. So yeah, there's a lot going on.
Man, I mean, your mind must be doing overtime, like 24 hours, be thinking that. I'm amazed. I'm amazed. And the good thing is you mentioned one of my favorite all-time albums there, Operation Mindcrime. Now, you know, that you don't often get a concept album that has a great story and the music is just as good as that story. They don't usually come hand in hand. It's quite difficult, in my opinion, I mean, if we take Iron Maiden, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, for instance, great album, musically, fantastic. Storyline, not so much. So, you know, I think in my opinion, you've achieved both. Do you know what I mean? You've something to listen to and something to story-wise to latch onto as well. And I think that's quite amazing.
To me, it was really important not to get lost in the concept, because if you don't have the songs, it doesn't matter how cool of a story you have. If you don't have songs that you can listen to that stand on their own, it's harder to reach out.
Man, I totally get that. Yeah.
And I think I think the simplicity of the story, it's a huge story, right? But if you imagine two acts, right? The one act is about people finding the 32 rules. That's one of the legs of the story, or how you say it.
Yeah.
So 19 songs throughout these 4 albums is going to be about finding the pages, right? The other track is basically a story about a man that had what's it called? Have you guys seen the movie Highlander by any chance?
Yeah.
By Christopher? Yeah. So he has this heritage from way back, that he was supposed to be one of the leaders in finding the remaining pages, but he met a woman and fell in love, and also they got a daughter together. So he abandoned his old heritage to form a normal life with her. But in doing so, he got haunted by these images and these dreams from his past life, that he needed to be somewhere else. So he abandoned his girlfriend and drove off in the night in search of this calling, of how you might say.
Yeah.
And he crashed, right? So he crashed his car and died. So what happens next is we released a ballad called If Only for a Moment, right?
Oh yeah.
She's stuck in that moment where she lost all hope, and she stands at the deep end, wishing she could go back. And she knows she's always known.
Yeah.
So in that song, she's trying to cope with her grief after losing him, right? So what happens in the story is she actually runs out in the woods, and the only way out through this misery and the aftermath of her sorrow is that she hangs herself. So she hangs herself, but she doesn't really die. So she what's it called? She ends up in a coma.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And the weird thing that happens after she enters this comatose state or whatever is a telepathic link is formed between her soul or whatever and his soul, because he's stuck in limbo. He doesn't go over to the other side. So the track, the second track on the album is his way of trying to locate her in the Underdark to ultimately save her soul and get his girlfriend back. So
there's something. There's got a lot going. Oh, it's Stefan. He's got a lot going on up there, isn't he? I mean, man. I mean, amazing stuff. I mean, it's just like I said.
And I mean, maybe you're gonna ask us later, but I mean, it's such a great thing being together and doing this. And I mean, Jesper Lindbergh is just this creative engine and great musician. He's just a guy you're so happy to.
And musically as well, man. I mean, you just said you said it right there and then. I was going to bring that up anyway about standalone songs. I mean, I know we've spoken about Operation Mindcrime already, but you think about the singles that came off of that album, right? You got, I think it was I Don't Believe in Love, Revolution Calling,
Eyes of a Stranger.
Eyes of a Stranger. So brilliant standalone songs that are just so melodic and so, you know, on their own. You can listen to them all day on their own. Some concept albums, as you know, you have to listen to, don't you, front to back. Otherwise, it doesn't really make sense. Yours does everything. It tells the story in one go, and it also is brilliant standalone. Because, you know, I've got the best of 2022 playing in my car, and your album's on it, and it'll pop up. You know, I'll get a lot of a Testament song or a Maiden song, then your song will come on and it fits perfectly on its own. Do you know what I mean? Just amazing stuff, really is. Well, you brilliant. I mean, it's great hearing you telling the story. We've spoken about tracks and that, but I mean, when you remember, you sent me. I remember getting the email from you actually, and you sent me this song, the first single, which was When Worlds Collide. Yeah, that was your first single from last year. Yeah. And I've got a cat here, by the way, so you'll probably be really annoying while we're trying to do this. But
no problem.
I remember when it got sent to me, and I do get, especially now, it got a lot busier and busier with the channel, so I get quite a few emails sent to me or links to videos stuff from bands. And sometimes takes a little while to get through to them. I remember like thinking, yeah, I'm gonna hear that, and then after about a week or so, I think you might have nudged me again because it's just I've got everything going on with work and everything, and I listened to it on the reaction, and it literally, I just got to tell you now, it was one of the most mind-blowing experiences because it was so big sounding. Because you think, first thing I thought was, why ain't this band well known? Do you know what I mean? Why does it sound so good? And it's like the first track this band have produced. I was like blown away. So songwriting process, because you know the music, I've listened to the album a lot more this week as well. I probably had it 5 times. I've given it a spin from front to back. It's a massive sounding album. I want to know about the songwriting process itself, because you've got the story going on, you've got the music going on. How do you go about with the songwriting process? What do you do? What comes first? Is it the melodies? Is it obviously the story? And then what do you attach to what?
Let it go, you understand what have become of a promised land. No, where worlds collide, dark clouds roll by. You see no stars or sunlight, and mountains high, covered in fire. No more tears left to hide when worlds collide.
If we take Throne, for example, people need to know that Throne of Gold was actually going to be an album that was going to be released originally in 1994. So, and back then we were children, if you will, and we didn't have the money, nor the contacts, nor the knowledge, or the experience how to write. Because this is really deep stuff, right? So I'm actually really happy that we didn't get to finish it back then. So what I was going to say is that most of the music for Throne of Gold, actually the track Throne of Gold, I wrote when I was 16 on my acoustic guitar. So it's a little bit, it became a little bit different than back then. But I think if you separate Throne from The Lion's Road, the album we're working on and we're going to release now, most of the songs on Throne were old material that was written in the beginning of the 1990s. So the challenge, especially for me and Daniel Lyckeklev, the bass player, who also co-produced the album with me, was to take all those old ideas and try to make them relevant in 2022, right? So I think that was the hardest thing I've ever done. I can write songs like a machine, like a crazy machine, is just spewing out songs. But making old stuff that you wrote when you were a teenager relevant now, 28 years later, rearranging riffs, and that was crazy to me, and crazy and frustrating, but also really it was a really how you say wonderful experience, because you really got to throw all your smithery ideas and all the stuff that you've been gathering through a lot of years to make this happen. But on the other side, on the new album, when you're talking about the songwriting process, it often starts with a guitar riff. But also we are so deeply invested in the story and how the feeling is supposed to know. The feeling is supposed to. You need to have whenever Peter is writing a guitar riff, he can write 10 riffs and he knows that one is a Sarayasign riff, the rest just goes away, because we are so deeply invested in how this is supposed to be heard and what the feeling is supposed to be like. So it's a little bit weird from normal songwriting, since we have a storyline to follow. We have places on a map where a certain event is taking place, and is this a sad piece? Is it a dangerous? Is it how is the feeling of this particular event, right? So I think it's a bit different from normal songwriting, I would say.
I mean, that's made me think about what it would have sounded like, you know, in the early 90s. It was a similar thing. I was talking to Todd the Tourer. You mentioned Queensryche already, but you know, Todd the Tourer was saying to me that he had the similar thing on his solo album, Rejoicing the Suffering. He had the ideas when they were younger, and they said the same thing. You know, it would have sounded completely different than it sounded now. So that's a good thing, like you said, that it's waited till now as well. And obviously, you know, everyone's in place now, and everyone sounds great in the band. Do you know what I mean? Just
I think a weird thing also that's really that I'm truly blessed with, and I think was the album that we released May last year sounded exactly like how it sounded in my head when I was 16, but we couldn't have done it back then.
No,
how we wanted it.
Oh wow!
So it's really something special.
That is
for sure.
That is.
Yeah, it will always be something special.
Yeah,
that album for us.
It's an amazing album to think that it's part 1 of 4 at the moment. It's just an amazing concept to think about. There's not many bands that have the courage, if you like, because you know that's writing a 4-album concept isn't something that every band writes. It's something different, and like I said, I think that's what makes you stand out as well. So people will be looking forward to what happens in the story. They'll be looking forward to the music. There's so much going on. It's pretty amazing. So let me you can answer this one if you want, Stefan. How did you guys? You spoke about, like Jesper just said he's been having these ideas since early 90s. So how did you guys actually get together, and when did you get together? Have you been friends all along, or?
No, we haven't talked that much. So it's like 3 or 4 years ago, Jesper reached out and said, "Oh, I got those tapes from 1994. We should finish this album." And I was doing other stuff, and I said, "Yeah, man, that's cool. Let's do it." And I work as a freelancing vocalist here in Sweden, professional singer, and doing lots of different stuff. And after many years doing that, I felt that, I want to do more rock. I want to do more rock and roll. And at the same time, when I did some other projects, other melodic rock projects, Jesper reached out and we started. And as we started and went along doing what Jesper just told, what we had to do with the old songs and everything, you know, these flashes of from back when we were 16 and 17 and we met up, and Jesper did do 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 do. That started right there. So it was, when we started working, it was just an amazing thing and so much fun. And after a while, as we got along working, it went, this is just, it's brilliant, it's great.
You definitely caught, for me, you caught lightning in a bottle. I mean, but on that album, I mean, like you said, so you've known each other since way back when, but got back together to do it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that is such a cool thing.
Yeah,
it's the same guys also. I think I met Stefan the first time when he was 11 or 12 or something.
Wow.
Yeah. I was yeah, that's right.
Don't you do some Dios? You do some Dio stuff as well,
Yeah,
don't you, Stefan?
I did last night at a rock club here in Stockholm, and I'm gonna do it tonight as well.
I mean, we must. He's just gone past the anniversary of his death, actually, hasn't it? So I know you guys will be, obviously. I mean, he's my favourite singer ever, Dio. I mean, rest in peace to Dio. We wouldn't have what we have today, would we? In that sort of scope that I think, you know, Dio gave. You know, he sounded massive every time he opened his mouth, and it was just amazing.
Yeah, and he was not just only a brilliant and great singer. The albums he sang before the Dio area, he was just what an amazing man.
And you got to have a good voice to sing Dio songs. So
I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. But it's a lot of fun. It's a tribute, and I do it sometimes. But
that's very cool. That's very cool. You got a new member in the band, right? Aren't I? Peter, let me pronounce this person. Lundin, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I'm getting better. So, with Peter, what's the recording process been like with him? Is it freshened everything up? How is it in the studio and stuff like that? Is it obviously a great addition to the band, but as your relationship with him in the studio and songwriting process with him?
First of all, I need to say that Peter and me Peter and most of us actually go way back. I had a band together with Peter in 2000 called The Painted Man, and we recorded, I'm going to send that album to you, by the way. We recorded an album in 2000. And then he moved to Gothenburg. Things happened, and 28 years later, he gets a phone call from this idiot saying, "We just got we're about to get a big record deal. Do you want to come and play guitar with us?" And he started crying.
Oh wow, man, that's so
cool. Yeah. So first I asked if he wanted to join, and he thought about that for a few days and didn't know really what was going on. And then like a week or 2 weeks later, I called him again and said, now the record deal is in place and blah, blah, blah. And he started crying. It was a beautiful moment.
Man, and congratulations. Now you've mentioned your record deal. Obviously you was with Melodic Passion Records for the first album. And then you've been signed to Frontiers now.
Yeah.
And congratulations, guys. I mean, it's amazing that record label, obviously, that, you know, has bought, if anyone, you could argue, bought a lot of this sort of music back years ago now. I mean, it's an older label now. It's not a new label anymore, but
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I mean, you've joined the Frontiers world, and congratulations for that, guys. I'm really happy that you've got a great record deal.
I feel really fortunate, that I think I speak for everyone in the band, because we never chased a label. We didn't chase anybody. We released the album, and we released 2 videos, and just tried our hardest to make everything sound and look good. Because if it wasn't sounding good or looking good, we were not gonna do it. So actually, Mario Del Riso from Frontiers actually approached us.
Oh wow!
So we heard that. I think it was a British journalist that contacted him and said, you need to check out this band from Sweden before someone else picks them up. So that story itself is a dream come true for us.
Man, that is so cool. I mean, yeah, totally deserved. I mean, they've got a lot of bands, but I've got to say they hit the jackpot with you guys. You give something again. Although you're melodic hard rock, as you say, and there's a lot of those bands about. I think you still stand out on the Frontiers label for me. You're something different as well.
I think we have something. We have our own little branch within their arsenal that nobody. We have something. They have a lot of great, beautiful bands, but I think just this concept and stories, I think one of a kind for us. So I think we're going to stand out. I hope so. Hope so.
I totally agree. You already do. And did they release the debut on their label? They released it again, didn't they?
They will. They will.
So they will.
We're planning a re-release, and I think discussion has been made if we're going to do it as a vinyl, a gold vinyl also.
Yeah. No, I mean, with that artwork as well, you need vinyl, don't you? With that artwork, I mean, that'll look beautiful, wouldn't it, on a vinyl? So, no, that's very cool. So we have spoken about, obviously, you know, when it comes to concept albums, it's hard to create one storytelling-wise, and also the songwriting to back it up is really obviously important. So, like I said, you nailed it with that first album. So let's talk about a little bit about the next one then, The Lion's Road. Let's talk about that. So. What would you say? What's that going to give us? Going to give us anything different? We having a continuation? Give us an idea of how that's going.
It's a continuation of the story for sure, but I think we are. It's a bit darker. This album, I would say, the story has reached a darker. I think it's the darkest period. This one and the third one, story-wise. So I think people are gonna recognize and be familiar with what they hear, but I think we as a band has really developed our own idea. I would say we had a lot of ideas how the sound of Sarayasign was gonna develop, and we were thinking a lot about people need to recognize what they hear, but we also want to develop ourselves sonically, right? Yeah. So we weren't interested in copying ourselves. I think we wanted to make it a little bit more heavy this time around, and I think Peter, the new guitar player, has a big role in that. The way he plays and the way he approach riffs. He has a lot of old school traits from when he was growing up, but he has that bite to his guitar. So I think it's going to be heavier. It's going to be a little bit darker, but you will recognize the storytelling for sure.
Yeah, and definitely melodic as well.
Yeah. I mean, the melody. Well, for me, I'm sure for you as well, as is the most important thing in it. Something to latch onto, something to remember, and that's what, you know. When you sent me that first song, When Worlds Collide, that chorus just was massive, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, you've got little proggy elements, haven't you? Slight proggy elements, not too much, because I'm not when it comes to progressive rock and metal, you know, I go a certain, with all my rock and metal really, I go to a certain scope. If it's too progressive, I'm like, and I can't listen to it, I can't get into it, I'm like, oh, that's too much. But you've like got the balance perfectly, where you do a few odd time signatures and just put a little clever bit, but it's always about the song, which is the most important thing. I mean, if only for a moment, we mentioned that already, your ballad, that chorus is mentally huge, but it's come in right from the beginning of that chorus. You get a little, you don't really know it's coming in. It's quite hard to, because you use that progressive side of the band, but then the melodic nature of the chorus is just such a beautiful, you know, combined. It's just, that's a really clever bit, and now it sounds huge, like a really melodic chorus. Amazing songwriting.
She would run all night, stuck in a memory, trying to be free of it. When will she ever find some peace within these
funny fact about If Only for a Moment, that was not the original melody and chorus for that song, since we had it way back from '94. And during the recording process, I remember telling Daniel Blom, the previous guitar player, and Ricky Klev, the bass player, I'm sorry, but this chorus is not going to work. I mean, the old one. So that night, I went to bed late that night, and 4 o'clock, I woke up just if someone had thrown a lightning in my brain. So I went up not to wake my little child and my girlfriend. So I sat in the sofa, and I think the melody and the lyric just came to me, and 15 minutes later, the whole song was done.
Man, I love that song. I love that song.
So someone wanted us to have that song,
Yeah.
for sure.
Beautiful song, beautiful.
Mm.
I'm a bit. I mean, I used to be in a band when I was really young, you know, years back, singing actually. And sometimes I dream I'm on stage sometimes now, and I'm singing I'm singing songs that I've never heard before, and they sound brilliant, you know. And I wake up and they're just gone. Like,
Yeah. But it's so funny when those things happen. It happened to me twice during that album. The same thing happened with Sandman. Sandman was originally not that refrain and not that lyrics, and just something just came to me one night, 4 or 5 in the morning, and 20 minutes later, it's just it was done.
Oh, man.
So it's crazy when it happens.
Another one of my favourite songs, that Stefan as well. I said to Jesper a while ago, Sandman is a real standout for me as well.
Yeah.
You know, the way it leads into that chorus again, you know, the build up and that way it stops, and amazing stuff, amazing songwriting. It really is.
All of my colors fade to gray now. Please, Lord, say something at all. I swear to God, I saw my life, and in spite of what's real now, I saw your face, it was real as the clear sky. Sandman, sing me a song, I'm afraid of.
So, yeah, so many standouts on that album. It's just ridiculous. I mean, there could have been like every one of them can be a single of its own kind. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
great stuff, great stuff. So, I want to talk about something else. So this is quite interesting because it's something else you guys do that not a lot of bands do. So, when it comes to music videos, there's a lot of bands nowadays. I'm sure you agree that they either release audio videos or lyric videos, or sometimes the videos themselves are quite poor. You know what I mean? I'm not having a go at anyone, but you understand, because not everyone's got loads of money to spend, especially when you're an up and coming band. You know, you haven't got millions of pounds to spend on videos. But band, your videos, they're so cool to watch, and they really fit with the concept of the band. I'm sure that's something that is important for you. So how important it is that your videos are treated with the same brilliant like production as your music? Is that a really important thing for you, the videos?
crazy important. If it doesn't look right and the feeling is not there, we're not going to do it. And we are really fortunate that we made friends with Joel Nilsson, our video guy. So from what I've seen so far of the upcoming 3 videos that we're doing, showing a lot more of the world of Soraya, we're going to introduce Sandman to the people and describe who he is and what role he has in the story. I think people are going to be, they're not going to know what hit them when the new videos release, because there's a lot more green screen, it's a lot more story oriented, it's a lot more, I'm not going to say acting, but we have find someone who actually understands my brain.
That has been very important. That has been very important for us too. That we want to show you the story, want to show you the world, and we really felt that you is understanding what we want to do, what we're trying to do. So,
yeah, they're really well made. I mean, you mentioned green screen there. I've seen some videos that have got green screen, but they're almost too much. It doesn't look right, you know. But on your videos, on both of those, ones off a throne of gold.
Mm.
It looks like you're there, and it looks like it really. They're brilliant videos, and the the quality and the production. That's what amazes me about this band, is that it looks like you've already been. I know you've been writing this for years, but it looks like you've been a band, produced music, and got massive and create this massive concepts, whether it's the artwork, whether it's the videos, whether it's the music itself. It sounds like you've been at it for years. Do you know what I mean? And
I think that's what happens. I mean, Jesper has been working since we split there in '94. We've been working with music. I worked as a professional singer my whole life. I've been on stage my whole life.
Yeah, it probably seems like you've been doing it forever, but obviously for us fans. So
yeah, of course, that's new.
Yeah,
yeah, we're a new band. We're new, of course, but yeah.
But there's a lot of hard work, obviously, that's got you to this stage, and man, it does. It sounds like every ounce of your effort's been put into this, and I'm so happy. Obviously, some bands I could tell how pleased you are, because some bands can release an album. All bands say, don't know when they release it, it's the best thing we've done. We love it. It's perfect, because they want people to latch onto it, and they probably feel like that at the time. But I can tell with you guys, that first album is something that's gonna, stay with you, and it sounds amazing. It really does.
Regarding the videos, also, Lee, I have to tell you that for me, when I was envisioning all this stuff, how it was going to look and sound and stuff, one big part of the storytelling aspect that I think is the secret sauce or whatever, that it works, is that we have Stefan on vocals, because he's so present in the way he speaks to the audience. And I think for me, we were talking earlier about Ronnie M's Dio, and he's taught me two things. If you want to sing it like you mean it, right? Because nobody gonna buy into the bullshit if it's like not gonna work. And also, don't be afraid of like throwing yourself out there, because people gonna see through you if you don't mean what you're doing. And that's a big important thing for me, is having a guy like Stefan telling the story in this convincing
I mean, the key word is, I think it's passion. Passion.
Yeah, totally agree. And like, giving everything in it's about those lyrics and those words. Taking every one of those words, and like you said, singing certain words and singing it in the correct way that suits, and and meaning it, like you said, the passion and meaning it, and you can tell there's plenty of passion there, guys, for sure.
And also, when you talk, I'm just going to say a quick thing about meaning and the being passionate about doing something. I remember we were laying down the vocals to a track called "A Way Back" on the new album. And I remember after we did the vocals, I didn't hear anything from Stefan for a few minutes, and I was like, what's going on? Is his phone breaking or something? And then he called me up and he said, oh, this lyrics and this melody, I just, he broke down for a minute or two and started crying because he was feeling so much.
Wow.
And that's something that I think gonna come across, that there's a lot of emotion invested in this story.
But I mean, we got to say that I'm a singer. I've been active together with Jesper, doing some of the melodies and stuff. Try something out here on this course or something, and I did that. But working with Jesper, for me as a singer, is just amazing. And for me, this is, as working such a long time as a professional singer, this is me doing what I do together with Jesper and all the other guys, Daniel and Peter. It's I just can't describe how it feels. So it's just amazing. It's more than amazing.
Well, it's amazing for us as well, guys. I mean, the music itself is it's outstanding. It really is. And like I said, I listen to so much music. It's just sometimes it's hard to listen to, keep up almost. And knowing I'm going to be speaking to you guys this week and literally driving to work and back, listening to the album probably about maybe up to 5 times this week, it's been really cool experience. And front to back and listening to it as a story as well is amazing. It really is. So you should be proud of that album. I'm sure you are. We definitely are. So
we're so glad you like it.
It's amazing, man. It's amazing.
It means the world. It means the world.
I'm in bated breath, just waiting for the next one. I want to talk about production. You sort of mentioned it a little bit. So the sound of the album. We talk about Front of Gold because that's obviously what we said so far. I mean, not only one of the best albums, one of the best sounding albums as well. The production is just off the charts. So, what about? Can you talk to me a little bit about how important it is to make not just we're not talking about the story and the music, we're talking about the sound, and how is the new album going to sound to stand up alongside the great sounding Throne of Gold as well?
I think we were definitely happy about how the sound came across on the first record, but once it was done, and talking to Stefan, Daniel, and Peter, I think we wanted to go even bigger. We wanted it to sound bigger. We wanted it to sound maybe not so clean. We wanted to have a little bit more rough edges to it.
Edge, yeah.
Yeah. So, and this has a lot to do about us meeting Jacob Hansen, the Danish producer that has done Evergrey and Arch Enemy and all those. We wanted this, I guess, harder, punchier production without it being metal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think he I don't know how he did it, but I really think that he listened to what we were dreaming about achieving, and I think he nailed it this time. You're gonna recognize the band for sure, but it sounds so much more evolved and hungrier, I think, now.
It's so important, production. I mean, it's one of the it can almost ruin a band's music if you haven't got the right sound, and obviously when yours is such a big sound and a cinematic sound and all that, like you said, you've got to have that where it shows the intricacy of the music, the edge. You're totally right there, because you can really bring some energy with production, or ruin energy. You can be the opposite effect. So I'm really glad to hear that it's going to sound even better, which is quite amazing considering the sound of your last album.
What do you feel, Stefan? When you got the first mixes from Jacob, what was your?
As Jesper reached out to Jacob Hansen, and when everything was done, Jesper sent him everything, and we were waiting patiently, and he sent it back, and it was just right on spot. It was just amazing when we got the first song. Is this perhaps what you want, guys? And just listen, and I just I was just one of the most amazing experience in my life, in our life, I guess. He's amazing.
Because there's a lot of production these days that you guys agree that almost like sometimes it's too loud or sometimes it's too noisy and it doesn't sound right. It's almost hard to listen to. Then other times there's too many layers on the guitars and sometimes it's just too much to take in. But it's really important to get that dynamic from light to shade, and things hit you in the right way. Just like I mean, I'm not saying the best production came from 30 years ago, but there was a certain dynamic feel of music, wasn't there? A while ago. We've lost it a little bit along the way, but I'm glad to hear. Obviously, I mean, like I said, if there's an improvement, I would have been happy with the production on the last album. I thought that was quite amazing. So to think there's going to be some sort of improvement is like mind blowing. So that's really cool. We've obviously spoken about recording quite a bit and songwriting and stuff like that. So you guys, correct me if I'm wrong, you haven't played live yet?
Nope.
No.
So are there any plans to bring, obviously, the world of Sarayasign to the live stage?
Of course.
To me, here in England, right now.
Yeah.
What's
Gonna
going
check out the flights here.
what's going on? Have you got any plans? Or you're not allowed to say?
Plans, of course, but it will happen, and hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully soon, this year.
Bring it to the masses, because I know that a lot of the time now, you know, bands need that, don't they, financially, to tour and stuff like that. But I can understand the pressures of financially again. I mean, we don't get a lot of bands now in the UK. I don't know if it's anything to do with Brexit. I don't know, but it just seems to be getting, you know, fewer and fewer bands over in this country now.
Okay.
So,
like Stefan said, we have plans for sure. We have puzzles that we need to solve with us all being parents and having children and stuff. But we can't wait to play this live. So I think after this album is released, there's plans about us getting together, probably here in Örebro, trying to rehearse and making sure that we find a balance of how this is supposed to sound live. Because it's one thing with the guitar, bass, and drums and vocals, but since we have a lot of soundscapes and keyboards and string arrangements and stuff, we need to find a balance so it works live. We're not gonna hire, not in the beginning anyway, we're not gonna hire a keyboardist, so we're gonna have probably some kind of backing tracks helping us with the atmospheric side of stuff. But I can't wait to rehearse this.
because you don't want to sacrifice the sound that you've got, do you?
No.
You're right. It totally needs to be right, because there's such a cinematic and massive sound to your music that needs to come. That needs to come as well. You know, there's no. You're totally right. You need to get it right, and I can't wait to hear you guys. And you need to come to the UK. That's the most important thing.
Yeah. But that,
and one thing, yeah.
But that
it
is in a nearby future, and we will play live. We will come together and rehearse and have a production rehearsal. We will do that. So
very cool, guys. I just want to, I'm going to hit you put you on the spot a little bit in a minute, but before that, I just want you to tell me talk a little bit about the new album. That's the most for me. I mean, talk a bit more about dates, when it's coming out, what we're going to expect, whatever you can tell me, by the way, because I know some of it can be a bit hush hush. But so just let the viewers know what we're going to expect, when it's going to come, because I'm getting a little bit excited about that now. So, and it's only last year we had the album. It's pretty amazing how we're getting a new one. Is this? So let the fans know what's going on with the new album and where we're at.
We're releasing the first video along with the video for that track on the 14th of June.
Excellent.
And the album is going to be released on the 11th of August.
Amazing. So it ain't long. We've got 3 weeks until we hear the first.
Yes.
3 weeks. The first song. I'm waiting. I can't wait. I really can't. So I might have to book the day off work or something just to. It's amazing to hear that it's coming so soon after the first album. Because I mean, man, you must be like really spilling out the ideas must be coming thick and fast. You know what I mean? Although, like you said, you've been working on it for years. But so I take it, like we spoke about it quickly, the first album you've been working on for years, but all the stuff for the second and the third, there is going to be more albums, obviously. Is that like as you go? Have you got any of those ideas ahead, or is it album to album?
The story is laid out, and the most of the story has been written. So the way it works is that we have the storyline, and then we pick out certain song titles of certain events and certain things that happening in the story. So we actually have all the track names for all the 4 albums.
Wow.
And then we are discussing elements like how is this storyline progressing? What's happening in this track? Is this a sad track? Is someone afraid? Everything needs to fit with the feeling, right? So that's the beauty of it, but also it's a bit of a how do you say it? Utmaning. It's a bit of a challenge to match all that.
Tonight, you see all the stars align and light up the sky for you and I, shining everywhere, all for us, I swear, while my broken heart lay bare.
So whenever Peter sends me a guitar riff, or Daniel sends me a bass line, or Stefan comes up with an idea, we have to match that to the different elements of the story.
You know, we've done it when you've recorded all of the albums. You know, when you come on tour, you're gonna have to do you're gonna have to do a 4-hour show, isn't it? It's the only way of doing it. You're gonna have to do like 4 hours of the whole lot, one after the other.
Yeah,
choosing all those songs to play, it's going to be murder, guys, isn't it? But really getting excited about that.
Yeah,
no, brilliant. Can't wait for new music, guys. Now, you ready for this? I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit now.
Yep.
So I've done this, and like I said, it's the first interview I've done for a little while, but I've always done this with whoever I've had as a guest. So I talk about who you're, basically your band. You've got an amazing band you want to put together, guys, right? No one who's not with us anymore, so we can't choose Ronnie James Dio. All right, so I'd like you to, but you can't. So we've got to think you're in separate bands, you two guys. We talk about them. One of the interview questions that always comes up is, who would you like to work with? You know what I mean? What musician would you like to work with? But we're going to do a band here that you want to work with. So we got Stefan, right? We can go one, we don't have to do all the band members at once. We switch about. So Stefan's going to be the vocalist, obviously, in his band. All right.
Okay.
And Jesper, I'm gonna, even though you can play like every instrument, you're still going to be the drummer. I make the rules.
Yep.
Is that all right? Yep. So people that are with us now, musicians, because I want to make this. Could it be possible? It needs to be possible, not a fantasy. So you can't choose Ronnie James Dio or people like that. So we go first with, because I think Jesper looks like he knows already, right? So you can't have worked with these people, so you can't choose Stefan, Jesper, and he can't choose you. So that's out of the question. So I'm going to go the first one. I'm going to go Jesper, then I'm going to go back to Stefan. So you get a bit of time to think about it, one at a time. So first of all, you can name vocalist, guitarist, or bass guitarist. You can even have a keyboardist if you want. You can have 2 guitars. It's up to you. So first musician in your fantasy band, Jesper, who would you love to have in your band?
Doug Aldrich.
All right, cool. Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely superb. I'll tell you, he's got it all figured out, Stefan. He's already planned this. So he just knew straight away. Doug Aldrich, what a quality musician. Excellent choice. So, Stefan, you've had loads of time to think about this now.
This is going to be hard. I'm not good at this.
That's fine. What about drums? Should we go drums first? It's up to you.
What's his Vinny Appice?
Oh man, yeah, I love Vinny Appice. I'll tell you what I love about Vinny Appice.
Vinny Appice.
He's so different, isn't he? Vinny Appice, his drumming. He's just. I love his drumming. He just sounds different.
I love him.
Excellent choice. Excellent choice. Would suit your vocals as well. Brilliantly. Okay, we're back to Jesper. What are you after, mate? What's your next musician?
Dino Jelusic.
Oh, I'm quite impressed. I'm quite impressed with that. Yeah, that's quite good.
No doubt.
You like him, man?
I would go for him as well.
You can't have another vocalist. But no, he's an amazing. Are you looking forward to the new album then, Jesper? He's coming out this year. I'll tell you what I think is great about Dino now is that, I mean, he's always been a great vocalist, but for me, in the past, maybe songwriting hasn't been there up to standard of his voice, but now the songwriting is just just as good, I
Such a
think.
great musician.
Yeah,
Amazing.
Totally agree with that. Brilliant choice, vocalist. Right, okay, Stefan, who's your next one?
Okay, bass guitar. Then I go with Geezer Butler.
Excellent choice. I mean, yeah. I mean, look at this: Vinny Appice, Geezer Butler, and you on vocals. That's pretty amazing so far. I'm quite. That's excellent. You can have 2 guitars, by the way. Jesper, so what's your next one, mate?
I'm thinking. I'm trying to find the name. The bass, Dead Daisies. The bass player that left.
Oh, he just left. The vocalist and bass player, you mean? Ben Hughes?
No, is it Jim Hilburn?
I don't know his name, but yeah, great band, Dead Daisies.
Yeah.
You like it then, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. Right, okay. Stefan, look, he's concentrating. Look, he's trying to look up his.
The recent Aussie guitar player. Who is it? Zach Wilde. Guitar.
Oh yeah. You're gonna get a bit of squealing guitar there, then, mate. You go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, what have you got left? You can. I mean, you have got 4 people in the band there. You can stop there if you want, Jesper, or you can have another guitarist.
No, I need another guitarist. So John Sykes is going to be there too.
Well, he's not bringing any more music out lately, is he? So he's got plenty of time for you, I think. So, oh, amazing guitarist, though, man. Yeah, just one of the really inventive and what an amazing guitar player he was. I mean, I love the. I mean, on Thunder and Lightning, Thin Lizzy's album, he was amazing on that. And then obviously did he redo the Slide It In album? He did, didn't he, for Whitesnake, the US version, and then he did. Obviously, in 1987, just amazing guitar player. Not a bad voice either. Not a bad backing vocalist you got there either. Right.
So I have Zach Wilde.
You've got Zach. You can just have Zach
And
Wilde.
I'm also going to add on guitar. I'm going to go with Steve Vai as the lead guitar.
That's pretty wild, that, isn't it? I like the difference in the guitar playing in the style there. Very cool indeed. Do you want any keyboardist? Are you all right as a metal band without a keyboardist? No synthesizers, no, just metal.
Nah, Dino can do the keys also. It's all good.
I'm gonna add John Lord.
He's not alive, is he?
No, he's not.
Oh, I'll let you off because I like you so much.
If I could dream.
Yeah, well, you never know, guys, apart from John Lord, obviously. But so on Stefan's band, you got Stefan on vocals, Vinny Appice on the drums, Geezer Butler on the bass, Zach Wilde on the guitar, Steve Vai on the guitar, and John Lord returned from the grave to play keys. In Jesper's band, obviously Jesper's on the drums, Doug Aldrich on the guitar, John Sykes on the guitar, man. Dino Chalusik on the vocals and a bit of synthesizers, and Jim Hilburn, we think that's his name, on bass. Not bad. Not bad at all. Guys, you never know. You never know. It could happen. It could happen. They'll be watching my show, interviewing you, and that'll be it. You'll be flown wherever to do it. Guys, is there anything you want to say to the people watching before we go? Because we'll wrap this up. I'm just really looking for some new music.
We're just so excited bringing out new music, and we longing for go out and play live.
Yeah.
Yes, listen. What's so cool about this interview as well is that there's so much to talk about because there's so much going on with this band. Do you know what I mean? We've spoken about the storyline and the concept of the album, and everything about this band is so big looking. Whether it's the sound, whether it's the story, whether it's the videos. You guys do an amazing job, and you should be proud of the stuff you've been releasing. It's been amazing, really.
She throws on the broken glass. She's concerned in pain, but no one here calls. She only cuts again.
it also feels like a blessing to actually with the lineup we have now. It feels literally like you're playing with your dream lineup. So that's really important. Yeah,
really. And what we talked about before, you know, we got together as kids, as youngsters, and now meet as grown-ups, having families, just making great music. It's an amazing thing. It truly is. Truly is.
Really, it's almost like, you know, listening to you guys talk and how quick it's all happened. Although obviously it's been happening a long time for you guys behind the scenes. I'm talking about since you came on the scene. It's almost like it's a movie, isn't it? I mean, you're like kids and you're making this music up and this story. You get this record deal, which is quite cool. Then all of a sudden you've got a multi-deal, I take it, with Frontiers over a few albums, and it's just amazing stuff. It's dream stuff, isn't it? Now all you got to do is get Zach Wilde and Pino Chalusi to appear on the next album. That's all, and then
that's all we have to do.
But guys, it's been a real pleasure talking to you. I could talk to you all night, but
you as well.
Thank you so much.
It's really good to talk to you in person. Like I said, we've been speaking for a little while over the last year, me and Jesper, but it's really great talking to you sort of in person, online, but it's near enough. But hopefully we'll catch up one day, guys, when you fly me out to you or you come to the UK.
I have a little breadcrumb to throw in there that I don't want to don't want to forget. On this new album, in the story, a certain female has a very big role in how the story progresses. So a new layer of if you wish, to our sonic sound or the soundscapes of the album is that we actually, this time around, we hired a girl to sing top vocals, a friend of Stefan's, crazy good vocalist called Olivia Turn. She's involved with E-Type, I think, sings background vocals for him, and also in the metal project that E-Type is running called Dump.
Yeah.
So she's actually doing a duet together with Stefan, so that's something to look forward to. Wow. And she's also bringing a female presence to the choirs and all the background vocals.
I did actually see, it was a few weeks ago, I saw your Facebook update with that. So yeah, that's cool. Another side to the story, and that's amazing. Guys, it's been a real pleasure and an honor to have you talking to me. It really has. You are literally one of my favorite bands now. So
thank you so much.
Listen, guys, it's honestly, I mean, when I started the channel, you know, I just muck it about, even doing reactions from my car, you know, and stuff like that, just starting out. And then, you know, to think that I get to talk about to musicians who I listen to it all the time, it's mind blowing. It really is. It's an amazing thing, and that's my favorite thing about doing the channel. I get to, you know, just react, not just talk on this, even message people that are musicians. It's an amazing thing for me. So thank you very much, guys, for coming on, and really looking forward to the Lions Road and everything else after. And this won't be the first time. This won't be the last time. Sorry, we talk. Perhaps we can do it every time leading up to an album. I think we need to do it. So thanks, guys. It's been a pleasure, guys, and everyone watching the channel, watching this show, let us know how excited you are about the new album. Like, not as excited as I am, but maybe. I'm sure there'll be some. Bye, guys. Thank you very much. See you soon.
Cheers.
Goodbye.